This is the story about Noah and his family and the boat he built far away from the sea. Noah lived a very long time ago, and he was very old. He believed in God, and he was a good man. People liked and trusted him. God liked and trusted him. But God was not happy with people. God was sad that people were violent towards each other and lied to each other and were generally nasty to each other. Because of this, God decided to destroy the earth that he had made so beautifully, and especially to destroy all those nasty people. God talked to Noah. "I'm going to destroy the earth," God said to Noah. "I'm totally fed up with nasty people, and I'm going to destroy them all. But don't worry, you'll be okay." "Oh, but you'll need to build a boat." "A boat?" said Noah. "Yes," said God, "a boat, and make sure it's properly waterproof." "A boat?" said Noah, "but we're miles from the sea. How is a boat going to help?" "I am going to destroy the earth," said God. "You are going to build a boat. You are not going to worry. End of story." "Well, okay," said Noah, "but I've never built a boat before. You need to give me a bit of help here." "Right," said God, "that makes sense. So, this boat, did I mention it needs to be waterproof? I did say that, didn't I?" "Yes, you did," said Noah. "But how big should it be?" "Good question," said God. "Build the boat this size. Make it 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. Build it from cedar wood and make sure you coat it in pitch to make it waterproof." Now, just in case you don't know, a cubit is the distance from your fingertip to your elbow. No one had inches or centimetres then. They used measurements like this instead. God continued speaking to Noah. The boat should have a roof and openings just under the roof all the way round, a bit like windows. The boat should have a big door, a lower, middle and upper decks. "That's really quite a big boat," said Noah. "Yes," said God, "because I'm going to cause a big flood, so you'll need a big boat." "A flood?" said Noah. "Yes," said God, "a flood. One that floods the whole earth. This flood will destroy all life on the earth, absolutely everything, especially those nasty people. I've made up my mind," said God, "and it will happen." "But," said God, "you are my special friend and you will be safe. I will keep you safe. But you do need to get started on that boat straight away." Noah got to work building the boat, just as God had given him instructions. He built it out of cedar wood and he coated it in pitch to make it waterproof. And he called his boat the Ark. When the boat was ready, God told Noah to go into the ark with his family in order to be safe. So Noah went into the ark. His wife went into the ark. Noah's 3 sons went into the ark, and the sons' wives too. It was beginning to get a bit crowded. "Okay, Noah, you're nearly ready," said God. "Just the animals and the food to load up now." "Animals? What animals?" said Noah. Oh, I must have forgotten to mention them. But you'll need to take animals along with you. 2 of each creature, male and female. All animals and birds. In fact, all the creatures you can find. 2 of each. "Really?" said Noah. "That's definitely getting very crowded." "Don't forget the food," said God. Or it might have been Mrs. Noah. "Because you really can't load up a boat with people and animals and have nothing to eat, can you?" So they stocked the ark with food, enough food for all the people and the animals and the birds and every creature on board. Finally, once the boat was ready and the animals were ready and the food was ready and the people were ready and everyone and everything was in the ark, God shut the door. And just as God had shut the door, it started to rain. Noah was 600 years old when it started raining. And it rained, and it pelted down, and it poured, and it drizzled, and it mizzled, and it tipped it down. And it sprinkled and spitted, and it dribbled, and it chucked it down, and it pattered, and it showered, and it soaked, and it squalled. For 40 days and 40 nights, it just didn't stop raining. And with all that rain, the rivers rose, and the lakes swelled, and the seas increased, and the ark floated on the surface of all the water that now covered the whole of the earth. So no one was left, no person, no creature, no one. They had all been destroyed in the flood, just as God had said, except Noah and Mrs. Noah, and their 3 sons and the sons' wives and all of the animals and birds and creatures. They were safe, all together, in the ark. Eventually, it stopped raining, which was a relief. But all around was water, everywhere. Noah and his family had to wait until the land appeared. It took a long time, days and days of drifting on the water. Eventually, one day, there was a bump, and the ark stopped. It was left in the mountains of Ararat, sticking up out of the water. But they still couldn't leave, not from the top of the mountain. They still had to wait for all of the water to go away. As the mountain sides became visible, Noah thought, maybe we can leave now. So he sent a raven out of the window, but the raven couldn't find anywhere to land. So he came back to Noah. "Oh, well, we can try again in a few days when the water has gone down a bit more," said Noah. A few days later, Noah sent a dove out, but it came back to the ark. A few days later, Noah sent the dove out again, and the dove returned again. But this time, it had an olive branch in its beak. That's really good, said Noah. The dove has found somewhere to perch and we'll soon be able to leave the ark. Eventually, a few days later, Noah sent the dove out again. But the dove did not return to him because it found a good place to perch. By now, Noah was 601, and the water had nearly all gone, and the ground continued to dry out. God called to Noah, Noah, you can all come out of the ark now. And they all began to come out of the ark. Noah and Mrs. Noah and all of Noah's family and all the animals and birds. Every person and creature that had been in the ark was now safe and free to get out onto dry land at last. Noah was very thankful that God had saved him and his family. So Noah made an altar and worshipped God. And God was pleased too and made a promise to Noah. I'm never going to flood the earth again, God said. And there will be a sign in the sky, a rainbow. It will show you my promise never to flood the earth again. Whenever you see a rainbow, you can remember my special promise to you, your family, and to everyone who lives after you forever.